Hello, welcome back by this new video. Today we're gonna do a 1 month review about the Mini 3. We're gonna talk about the specs, about my flying experience and just the drone itself. Let's get into it. So the wind resistance on this drone is better than the old Mini 2 with its 10 meters per second wind resistance, if I'm correct. The old Mini 2 could do 8.5 to 10.5 and this one can do 10.5 and higher. I've been flying it at the beach recently in South Holland, where it held up pretty good for this size with the heavy wind. With the old Mini 2 the drone went up and down when I was flying at the beach. With this one I didn't have the problem. Real sharp photos. With the new Mini 3 you can take 48 megapixel photos because of the new update. That was only possible with the Mini 3 Pro or with like an Air 2 or Mavic 3. The old Mini 2 could only take 12 megapixel photos. This drone can take 12 megapixel and 48 megapixel with this new camera and internal systems. I got a few examples. Here's a photo of the grass in front of my house I took a few days ago. You can almost see every single piece of grass sticking out. Here's another example. The solar panels on our roof. With the 48 megapixel you can inspect the panels for broken pieces or things that don't work or something like that. The new version of the ND filters. By the old Mini 2 you had a sort of roof above the camera and you needed to take the ND filters to the back here. There were little indents for cooling the camera and you needed to hook the ND filter back on there and then to the front. That wasn't really helpful when you had it on because it was bad for the camera and for the drone itself, or the gimbal. With the new ND filter system, you just take the drone, you hold the camera still, you twist it off, you take it off and you put another one on. You can buy these ND filters, are the ND and PL filters from Freewell. I got a 6-pack from Bright Day. Here it is. With 4, 8, 16, 32 and 64 ND filter and a CPL filter for reflection in glass and water. A real quick tip here. The piece it comes with in the packet when you buy the drone, it's hollow, so if you damage your lens with this piece on from the beginning, if you get the drone and you don't have ND filters, if you fly and you land in sand or with gravel and there is scratches on this, there isn't a piece of glass in here, so then it would damage the camera itself, so this lens here, and if that's damaged you need to take DJI repair or you need to buy a new camera, so look out for that. If you want to, you can buy UV filters for around 10 to 20 bucks. That spares you around 50 or 600 bucks for a new drone, or buy a pack of ND filters for around 30-60 bucks. I bought my Mini 3 with the new controller with the built-in screen. It's really handy, it has good controls. You have buttons for customizable buttons on the back. Record, take pictures, zoom in, zoom out, gimbal up, gimbal down. It's really bright. It's almost as bright as my phone. See there, it's really bright. This is better for just many reasons. You can't get cold when you're flying. You can't get distracted if you get a text, or you can get kicked out of the app. Your telephone can run out of battery. With this, it's all built in, so you don't have to worry about anything. You have the control screen with screen recording, screenshot, all that kind of stuff with the brightness. This is the darkest it goes, this is the brightest it goes. It also has sound built in. You can, there's a connection guide for the drone you want to fly, location if you have Wi-Fi or 4G, an album for all your drone footage, SkyPixel, I don't know really where that's from, and your profile. Another big thing for this one is that if you want to, you can take SD card, small SD card of 32 gigs I have here, and you can put it in the underside here. There's a little piece of plastic, you can take it off, and there's a SD slot. This is handy if you want to cache your footage, so that if you go to album, you can get to saved or aircraft album, and you can see all your photos and film videos you have made with the drone. It's around 1 to 5 minutes if you connect the drone with the controller until you can fly. It's really handy, you don't have to mess with cables that you put in your phone, you don't have to do all that work. You just set the controller on the drone on and you can go and fly. The new flight time on the new batteries. The old batteries could fly around 31 minutes if you had perfect conditions. I got around 15 to 25 minutes per battery. With these new batteries you can fly around 38 minutes with perfect conditions. But I got it to fly around 25 to 35 minutes on one battery. It's really handy because you can charge them fast, you can fly really long. There's no problem with flying around a kilometer out, kilometer back without any problem. It's also handy before auto return home kicks in, so if you have the old batteries you could around 15 to 20 minutes then it would kick in to return home. With this new one you can fly around 30 minutes before it kicks to auto return home. The new battery system is also handy because the old one you needed to pop off a little cap on the back and then put the battery in it and that was weight, that cap on and off. With the new you have a sort of Air 2 or Mavic 3 design. You have the thing, you have little tabs on the side, you can push them in and take out the battery, so you have it. You can then put it in the station if you have the Flymer combo, or you just let it set in the drone and you can charge it with the USB-C on the back. A tip for you is get a full Flymer combo with 3 batteries, the neck that's waterproof with the silicone seal around the zipper, extra propellers for the drone, so if one gets damaged you can replace them, a screwdriver and 2 cables you get with it, USB-C to USB-A or other way around, and USB-C to USB-C for charging and data transfer to your computer. In the bag there's a place for the extra pair of propellers, the cables, there's a place for the controller, the batteries and the drone. On front you also have a little space on front for documents you want to carry with you that are useful when flying, and there's a little pocket here for your SD cards that you have stashed away so they don't get in the way. Another thing about the drone, it's a really tiny size. Even when folded out with the propellers to the back, it's not even as long as my forearm. If you fold the propellers down to the inside, it's really short, about 2 times my hand. And if you fold the wings in, it's really easy. With this new system they made it, with the old you needed to fold it the front pair of legs before the back, because otherwise it wouldn't use, because these went that way and these went like a twist. So now I have the back pairs first. By the old Mini 2 you couldn't do that and you needed to do the front pairs first, but now it doesn't care about how you do it. So just fold it out, be careful because the legs are not too sturdy, they're pretty fragile, so and look out for the props that don't get into the way. Fold it up, it's almost as tiny as the controller. The controller is even heavier than the drone, that's really funny. And if you compare it to the iPhone X, this is an iPhone X, it's almost as big as the iPhone X. It could really fit in your pocket if you need to. And in a camera bag it doesn't take a lot of space up. It's really useful if you have a larger drone like the Mavic or the Air series. You would have more space taken up, you can take it really easily. Another few specs about the drone is the 4K 30 FPS, 1080 and 2.7K up 60 FPS, ISO 100 to 30 or 3200, 48 megapixel photos like I told you already, around 38 minutes of flight time. Another thing about this new Mini 3 is the sound. It's a little bit quieter than Mini 2 because of the big wingspan that it has with these long bars. The old one was around 75% of its length, so the propellers can be longer, so there's not as much sound generated off of them, which is really handy if you fly in public and you don't want everyone to know hey, there's someone flying with a drone, or flying with birds so the birds don't hear you, or flying between a group of cows so they don't get scared of your drone. Another useful thing is this cover you get with it. By the Pro there were two little lines here in the middle, so your gimbal would be needed perfectly seated before this could go on. With this new cover you can just hook it here on the back and just pop it into indents that are here, and it sits really good and it doesn't fall off during travel. I've used it, it's traveled to Germany, and next year I'm going to Norway, so I can test it even more, which should be really fun. This was my review about the Mini 3. I really hope that you got something on this. End statement: Mini 3 is better than the Mini 2. If you're thinking about upgrading from the Mini 2 to the Mini 3, do it. The videos it generates are better, the pictures are better, the new controller screen is better, you can fly longer with it, and the filters on it are better. Everything about it is almost better than the old Mini. The best thing I found about this Mini 3 is the controller with the screen, so I don't have to hassle with my telephone and cables and that sort of thing. For more information, just check the pinned comment of the link in the description to buy the Mini 3. I also left a link for the ND filters if you want to check those out. I hope you have a nice day. Goodbye.